All right, had a little audio mishap. When you buy it, it'll come in one of these because, I don't know, there'll probably be like a cardboard or something on the inside. And what you'll get is all these. There's some acrylic pieces. This one is mint. And then there'll be a little bag that has all the electronics, which are like this. I did my best to like label them with what they are, but sometimes they got a little wily in the bag, and so if they're like separated from their little flags, hit me up and I will help you out. You'll have your Atmega chip and this socket for it and some feet and your choice of LEDs, and then you'll have like a back plate and a PCB and a switch plate. Okay. What was I going to bring up? All right, okay, first part is you take all of these diodes. These are 1N4148 diodes, and there's a bunch of them. There should be exactly enough. And I'm going to put these elsewhere. And they are directional. So like, if you look, oh my gosh, if you look, there's like, I don't know if this will work. There's like a black line and then a orange side, and the black line goes to the square, oh my gosh, goes to the square side. First thing, you gotta like bend all of them, which is annoying, but you make some little bends in them, and then in they go. I said in they go. Cool. I'm gonna just go ahead and get started on bending them. I feel like I should do music or something, but I don't actually know how to make any of that work because I've streamed like twice. And usually CAD, and usually I'm doing a lot of explaining as to how I'm doing the CAD. But if someone knows more about streaming than I do and can recommend some like quick way to get Spotify playing while streaming, that would be cool. The adventures of putting diodes in. Oh my god, no. Don't do that. Thank you. I'm also going to get a little roll of tape. Where did the tape go? Oh, here. So another thing that I find useful, and usually I'll have done more than this many, but I'll just show it. When you're putting the diodes in, it can be helpful to like hold them down so that you don't have the risk of them flopping out. Yeah. And then I just like peel back a little of the tape, And put the next one in. And I should be pulling or like folding them a little closer to their body so that this comes out cleaner. Because I don't love how, I don't want you to be all bendy wrong. Be good. Bah! Not my cleanest work. Oh, I wish I had my nails done pretty for this, but oh well. Okay, now that I know that they fit better when it's like really close, because it all kind of depends. This thing here is in KiCad called a footprint, and you can, for a through-hole component like this, use different size footprints. And how wide you want to make your bends is dependent on how long the footprint for it is. And I calibrated kind of based on this one, which is got a wider, let's see how to display that. These are like farther apart. Oh, right. And I would totally believe that there are people who are much faster at this than me, despite, you know, like running this group by and starting to design PCBs. I'm still pretty new to all of this. Like, I only got my first mechanical board in like January, so I've gone very far down a rabbit hole quite quickly. I see you typing in Discord. Thank you. I have done a lot of building things, just not keyboards until recently. Most of what I have made is paper sculpture. And before that, big ol' installations. Oh, look how much nicer these ones are. So this is where I'm, is it focusing? I don't know if you can tell the difference between these ones that are like popping up a little bit and these ones that are just straight down. So I guess my recommendation for people who are building a discipline is to just like get it right, get your nail right next to the body of the thing, and then just fold right there. That way you get a nice tight little couple of 90-degree bends. then it should fit in cleanly. Come on out. I'm just gonna take a moment and do a bunch of these. If you're really fancy, you can get a diode bender, which is like a thing with little slots in it that you can just lay these all in, and then it's really easy to fold. But I don't have one of those. Usually they're 3D printed, and I have like every tool in the world except for a 3D printer. And the only thing that is getting in the way of me having a 3D printer, because I love robots, is that I don't know which one to get. I'd like to have a 3D printer that could print cases for boards, which seems fairly obvious at this point. But most of them end at, where's my measuring tape? So like most 3D printers go to around 300 millimeters. And then like that would fit a 40, but if I wanted to fit something that could fit like a 65, it's right on the edge. So I'd like to get a 3D printer that's 400, but those are rare. And now my dimple is plugged back in. Hi! Thank you for joining, Gemini. I'm bending diode legs, the most fascinating part of the process, for sure. Oh my gosh, 7 people are watching me bend diodes. This is madness. And ramble. I'm doing both of those. Okay, let's stuff some diodes in. This is gonna be mintlodica's board. And I'm like basically ready to ship everyone the boards, but I would feel more comfortable having made one to completion myself, just to make sure that everything works for everyone. So once I test this one, we should be good to go for everyone else's. There's like a few odds and ends that I haven't done yet, like taking all the million little screws and putting them in the little bags. And I've cut all the foam for the white PCBs, but I haven't cut the black foam yet, just because I haven't managed to take the giant roll of black foam over to my studio. But that should be fast, pretty fast. Oh, these go in so nice if you bend them really close to the body of the diode. So quick, so easy. Here we go. Look how nice those ones are. I'm kind of cheating in that I have extras of these, so the ones that look a little ugly that I started with, I'm probably going to pull out and use new ones. Another 10 diodes come in. I don't know how like bigger time streamers do anything. They always, it seems like they're so much more interesting about it, and that they, I don't know, have all these conversations with folks. So close to soldering, which is, you know, the main event, what everyone came here for, I'm sure. Just setting diodes into the board. All the way, all the way, all the way. Good job. And again, the only thing to be really particularly concerned about when you're doing this part is that the black line at the top of the diode should be facing the square of the two pads, because diodes only work in one direction, whereas something like a resistor doesn't really care what direction it goes. There is a build guide you can use, the regular Discipline build guide, and it works just fine. And presumably there's a bunch of other people who have made videos streaming with nicer cameras than like a Logitech webcam. I wonder if I can make higher resolution on folds. Doing a lot of folds. Well, I mean, so I didn't design this PCB, but for the ones that I have been designing, I mean, there's like, I don't really know if I'm that, if I'm like the perfect person to give an answer to that. I think that as far as like, if you're making keyboard PCBs, what creative limits you have, like, you know, you can you can find MCUs, or the microcontrollers, like these kinds of things that have all kinds of pins. So if you're, looking to create some wild layout, there's probably a microcontroller that'll work with it. Or if you wanted to do like a bunch of rotaries, I'm sure that's all possible. I've seen in the Keyboard Atelier Discord, one of the members is making a, I think, 5x6 all rotary board, just like so many dials. You can make, however many keys you want on either side of a split. If you wanted to do a split that was like a 65% with like a movable numpad, sure. If you're, I guess I'm sort of curious in what direction you mean, like, by creative. Can you expand on that? You can certainly put, like, whatever graphics you want, like, so all the black writing here is silkscreen, and then all of this gold is the copper. And you have a lot of flexibility in terms of, like, design-wise, what you want to do with both copper and silk layers. Oh no, don't be bent. Don't be bent. In the CKC Discord, I linked the protozoa, which is, they're like making a special edition. Woo! Hello. They're making a special edition Discipline that's like, the white one's gonna have all of these, all of these different like dots on it that make it look kind of like a galaxy. And I mean, it looks just beautiful. The pixie that I designed, like the silkscreen, is very similar to my paper sculptures, where it's like big, chunks of printed stuff, and we'll see how that looks. I think, when you get them manufactured, you can sort of trade off like how good a job they'll do with how cheap and fast they are. Hi! You did not miss it. I will be stuffing diodes into this board forever. It is gonna probably take like 2 or 3 hours to build it. Just, Oh! Let's see. So this mat here is a silicone mat. I think it's handy, like this top area of it is actually magnetized, so like stuff will just stick in there, which is kind of cool. But more importantly, it's silicone, so I can like actually drag my iron across it without messing anything up, even though it's really hot. I think they're like between $12 and $18 on Amazon, so I kind of recommend, if you're going to be doing a bunch of soldering and you don't want to muck up the table that you're working on. It's nice because then you can just, you can just press whatever you're working on right against the table, and like, it's no big deal. Because otherwise, you don't really want to put like a 300, 400 degree iron tip against wood or whatever. You'll definitely leave marks in it. It'll just burn. But usually you're not putting the iron right against the table, so it's not like a huge concern. But I've definitely done some like silly things where I've ended up like heating up a surface a bunch and leaving a little burn scar. I think that before I got into keyboards, most of my soldering was probably done in the like installation art context, and we would often be working in like a sort of dingy shared warehouse situation, and the work surface was probably more like either like a melamine board that no one cared about, which, you know, you just scuff up, no big deal, or like a plastic folding table. Did I use that one trick to bend the diode wires where you like fold them all across 3 PCBs? No, I'm just going in with like my fingernail right by the body of the diode and bending them that way. When I did the like multiple PCB bending thing, they ended up a little too wide for the footprint on here. Like, you really kind of want them very closely folded on this. And then it's also kind of challenging, for me at least, when I'm doing that like multiple PCB foldy thing to actually like get the body of the diode in a comfortable place. That GIF is majestic, but or video was majestic, but I couldn't manage to get it to work for me. I really just need to get someone to 3D print me a diode bender so that this part is much faster. Yeah, it's definitely like one of those 5-minute crafts things where you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing! They sure did make a cup out of cardboard, but then you go to try it and it doesn't make sense. And aw, you totally should. Building these is super fun. Like, okay, you can build like a little baby one like this, where it's just like, you know, simple PCB with some switches on it, and that is like a nice way to just get a handle on like how to solder. Can I do it? There's a bunch of macro pads out there. And then it's amazing. You like make a thing and it works, and you can like type upon it. Hello. I'm gonna turn my volume down. Yeah, my bad. I clearly do this never. And in we go, next 10 diodes. The milk is so cute, but I don't know if like 2 keys makes sense for me. I like that cook pad that I just showed, and I mean, if anyone's really excited about that, this thing, I have a pile of these, like, as you can see in my hand, and it takes like a Pro Micro 6 switches, and then, you know, you can put RGB LEDs on it by just like soldering a little strip to the bottom, and then it's cute as heck. So yeah, if you want one of these that is in my hand right now, let me know. I'm like drowning in PCBs. But also like the May pad is a really good option, and the launch pad from Space Cat Design is an excellent option. If your goal is to like practice or learn how to solder, I think either of those is spectacular. Wow, 15 people? Golly. Does anyone have any questions while I'm stuffing diodes in this board? I'll leave this over here to look cute. For sure. Hi! Yeah, Magic Wand Macro Pad. It's, I'm like on the way. I backburnered it for a couple of days to make the Pixie go, just because I got really excited about the notion of having a sort of Discipline or Plaid style keyboard that was the layout that I like, which is this layout because it's perfect. Just look at that, ideal, gorgeous, the perfect layout. But you know, as soon as like I have some spare moments, I will continue to work on the Star Wand. I just realized at some point that I had like designed multiple PCBs that are 65%, which is a good layout for sure, but not one that I am any good at using. And so I was like, no, I should make myself a keyboard, not only my brother and my girlfriend and etc. So I did. Also, Udon wanted like a wireless dimple thing, so I was like, yeah, it's still for someone else. And how cool is it that it's going to be wireless? If that works out well, I'm so amped. Oh, Sidereal, did you see the Pixie yesterday? If you search for PIXI in the Cute Keyboards channel, you probably can find photos of it, or renders. And I started to price it out yesterday. I think it's going to be just super duper cheap, except for the wireless board, the little feather blue fruit. So that's $30 from Adafruit, and then the battery is like, depending on how big you get the battery, like 10 to 15, I think. But I think everything else is like $30, $40, like the switch plate and the PCB and the little back piece and all the acrylic shouldn't be very expensive at all because it's quite small. Well, you know how you can test out if 40% is right for you is a board that costs, like I was just saying, $40 all in, except for the little computer that you solder in, which is sadly $30 whole. There's a cheaper one if you don't want wireless. Though, how cool would it be to have a little wireless QMK pad? So cool. Oh my gosh, we're almost at the end of the diode stuffing adventure. Just in time for the next set of diodes, but there's a lot less stuff after this. Thank you! This one that I'm building right now is not my personal discipline. It is going to be mintlodica's personal discipline. So, got jades for her. And we just talked a bunch about what stabs. So they're going to be these cream stabs with gold wires, which matches this board. And then these are all mint, which you can't really see right now because I've got the paper on it. But yeah, so hopefully I do a nice job because it is for her, and I want her to have nice things. I know, I hope so too. I feel like Infinity Pastel on this is going to look just lovely. Originally, I bought a candy bar from the Key Company, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna definitely be putting lavender on that, and then ended up being like, I'm making all these disciplines, so I think I'm gonna use a purple top and pastel lavender keys for my own. This is a straightforward one to build. This is totally doable. You've got it. I 1000% believe in you. How many of these do I have left to do? 9 more. Okay. I know, I'm really, really excited to see how everyone builds these out. There's just one tricky part to do on this whole process, and it's the USB. And the USB, you want to use flux, and I'll show everyone how later. I might move the camera to like come in close. But I think if you have flux and a wick, you're good. Alright, so that's 5, 4, 6. Yeah, this mat that I'm using is like a silicone mat. Here's my soldering iron. It's currently at temperature. No problem. How many do I need? 2 more. I'm so close to having all of these in. I do think for anyone who is building these, give yourself like a bunch of time. Don't rush it. Just especially if you're new at it, because it's like, you know, you don't want to misplace things, and you don't want to be pressured. It can just be like a little relaxing. And if you do end up in a situation where you've lost or maybe broken one of the components somehow, let me know, and I can show you where the part can be bought, and if I have spares, it can help. Alright, so we've got all these ones all look lovely all the way to the end. These first few, I'm not in love with. This one, this one, and this one. Yeah, those ones, let's do better. So let's see if I can salvage these. Hi! That sound is really surprising every single time. But I appreciate for you following me. Appreciate you following me, that's how you use words. Huh! Alright, those are all looking nice. I can stream KiCad, the PCB design software, at some point if people want to see. Though I am by no means like experienced or professional or that good at it. And there are assuredly better people to watch. But if you want like a beginner's perspective on how to make PCBs, I could stream that. Yeah. All right, we have every diode is looking good. Now just to make sure, I'm just gonna go and tape them down. And this isn't in the guide, but I recommend it if you have like some cheap masking tape. Just this way everything's held like in place when you flip it over for soldering, and you can really be sure that they're all like exactly where you want them. Cool. So those are the main 1N418 diodes. Now let's just do the next two here. I'm going to do are called Zener diodes, which also care about what orientation they are. They look very similar to the 1N148s, or 1N whatever the other ones are. They're a little bit longer, and they'll say Z, I wrote, in a little pen. And again, because they're diodes, it matters what direction you put them in. The black bar at the top needs to go towards the square pad on the PCB. Don't be rude. Okay. These are being a little more annoying in that the body of the diode is slightly wider than the footprint. How annoying. If I can get that any flatter before I try to put it in. Let's see how that works. Well, I kind of wish that those were just a little smaller than they are, but that's how it is. Okay, then we've got over here a whole bunch of resistors, and they're labeled. If you can see, there's like a little bit of writing there that says the size of the resistor, the number of it, and then again you should have labeled resistors. And so these ones say 5.1K on this little tape flag, so goodbye tape flag. Fold my resistors. And resistors don't care what orientation they are in the board, so you can just fold them any which way, or put them in any which way. And then in it goes into the 5.1K slot. Hey, no falling. Then I'll bend this next one and put it down in the same spot. Hi! This one is 10K. I labeled it 10K with a little flag. And again, resistors do not care what direction they go in, just so long as the 10K resistor goes in the 10K slot. We are golden. And I'm just like pushing these down and pulling on their leg to try to like flatten them out in here. All right, and then we have two 1.5K. And of course, there's a little 1.5K spot. Looking clean. And the last 1.5K. And for tan resistors, I think there's always one side that's gold, and so I've just made all the gold looking along that one edge. That way they are consistent. You are welcome to do it however you want for this step. And then this is probably going to happen to a lot of you. There's 2 spots for 75, but only one of these has stayed attached to its little flag. But if you look at the this is just too small to see. There's little rings of color, and so if you match up one that you do know the number of, you can be like, ah, yes, 2 75 ohm resistors. And if you have any trouble, where you're like, all of the tape flags came undone, and I have no idea what is what, ping me on Discord and I will help you out. All right. We're getting close to soldering, I think. Not too many more pieces. In you go. I'm just sort of mushing them all down. And I'm going to do that same thing again. I'm going to get a little piece of tape. And I'm going to tape them down just so they don't move. I'll probably have to remove that tape to put that mega chip in place, but that's a problem for later. Sorry that it keeps switching focus. Cool. I'm going to actually, I think, solder all of these in place and then do the rest so that I can pull the tape off. I should get a little clipper. Yeah, one of these. You'll want one of these for later. Yeah, I'm going to leave this up on Twitch, so you'll be able to watch after the fact. Okay. Thank you for coming. Soldering. Alright, so I have a very cheap iron. I bought a SparkFun 937B back in 2010, and it has served me very well. So you hold the tip of the iron on the pad and the joint. You hold it there for a moment, and then you just feed some solder in. Oh, you know what else? I'm gonna turn my little fan friend on. I don't know how bad that makes the audio, but this little buddy takes the soldering fumes away. which is pleasant. The fan on Amazon was not very expensive. If you just search for like solder fume extractor. Other popular options are an open window. But here in New York, it's like 31 Celsius right now. So I'd rather have the air conditioning on. And so I'm only going in for a moment to get these wires soldered, you know. You just hold it there, a little bit of solder, hold it on the next one, a little bit of solder. Then you got like a forest of wire, little diode ends. Cool. Actually going to flip it around so it's closer to, I guess, everything, the camera and etc. Hopefully my tape worked and these are all still in a good position. And let's go. Yeah, and I'm skipping like the top ones. I'm gonna go in after I do all of these to like snip a bunch of these little legs, and then I'll do all the ones that were annoying to get to because the legs were in place, and then I'll probably do another pass. And then hopefully we'll take the tape off and everything will be soldered and it'll look beautiful. And if not, we will talk about what to do in that case. Come on. And I don't know if anyone cares, but I'm using Kester leaded solder. So after using leaded solder, wash your hands. Like, for real though. It's nice because it melts crazy fast, And also, like, the quantity that they sell, it's like a pound. It'll last you basically forever. Like, this much solder. It's really impressive how much solder it is. I used to use much shittier solder, and the difference is noticeable. I am glad to have switched to a quality solder. Oh my gosh, my hair is entirely in the way. Cool. Alright, so now I'm taking these. I'm going to put my finger on top of the leg that I'm going to snip. And I snip. And I put my finger on it just so that if it flies away, it's no big deal. Or that it doesn't fly away. And like, because otherwise they'll like spring sometimes, and who knows where they'll go. On a magical journey, but no thanks. Didn't quite have my finger over one of them, and it flew way up. So hold your finger over them before you do them a snip. All right. So many less. Let's get them all out of there. And do the rest of the legs. Got our solder. Clean the tip of our iron. And let's go. Oh, also, don't be like me that I'm doing right now. Like, maybe tie your hair back if you have long hair and you're soldering, so that you're not like constantly melting the front of your hair. The purpose of diodes, these little diodes that I'm doing, so for a switch matrix, like, let's see, a switch like the way that a switch actually works is it's just like there's like one wire going from one pin to another, and it's just completing a circuit. Like there's just literally like metal that's like clap, it's time to be connected. The diodes in a switch matrix make it possible to have multiple different switches use like different combinations of pins, because like otherwise without diodes it would like fire, as far as I understand, it would fire like the whole row or the whole column worth. But I could be totally off. What I do know is that they are required if you're doing a switch matrix. If you're just doing one single pin, you don't need diodes. So like you might see macro pads out there that that don't have diodes and have like 9 keys. But usually people make things with a matrix, and with a matrix you need to have one diode per switch. Sorry, that was assuredly not the best explanation, but I'm a little novice, so it's what I got. Your local Wikipedia switch matrix article might also be a more valuable resource in this case. I hear one of my 2 cats chewing on Velcro in the background. I'm sure that that is Mouse chewing on the Velcro strap that makes my bike trailer work. Classic. I feel like there's a 100% chance that I will like solder some hair directly into this. Mintlodica, congratulations, you have a keyboard and also some of my hair. Come on. Yeah, the cats need to eat at a very particular time, which means that time has meaning. Otherwise, it's just all one everlasting loop. More solder. I really like watching the wisps of smoke get sucked into the little fume extractor. It makes me very appreciative of all the hard work that it's doing. Aww. Is your cat like a loud yelly cat, or is it an adorable kind of yell? Our so we have two cats. We have Mouse and Lorenzo, and whenever it's food time, as soon as you start to get the food stuff ready, Lorenzo's like, hey, hey, little squeaky meows, just to remind you that he's hungry, and you're like, yeah, literally I am getting you food now. I probably would have remembered to do so a little bit earlier if you like mentioned it, 30 minutes ago. But he only starts doing his meows when we're already on the way. Oh my gosh. Lorenzo is kind of a bigger boy. He's coming up on 1 year old. We've had him since November? And he really sounds like a squeaky toy. In you go. Yeah, he's a baby, whomst I love. I'm not loving, I don't know if you can see, there's like some brown bits that are like flux that I think is flux that's just like not burning off real good. If I wanted to be very extra about it, I could probably get some isopropyl alcohol after and like clean it all off, but given that this will be mooshed against foam, it's probably not worth my time. But if you're being very particular about the look of the back of your PCB, isopropyl alcohol will take those marks off. That way you can post your beautiful soldering on Reddit and get thousands of internet points. Eek. Oh, I didn't ask what color LED Mint wants. Because you get one LED on this, and it normally comes with red, but I've included blue and white for everyone. Just because I thought the red was too loud. Did I do that? I might have done pink and blue. I don't know. I put some other color LEDs in that worked. We'll find out. Wow, she is really going with that Velcro chewing. Probably can't hear it on the mic because of the loud fan, but Okay, all of these are soldered. Let's clip them again. Out. Out you go. And so again, I'm putting my finger down on top of the little leg when I snip it so that it doesn't go flying. You don't want to put your eye out with a flying diode leg, because they're pretty stiff. Resistor legs are, there it goes, are floppy, but diode legs, they're for real. So many of these. And if you don't have a set of diagonal cutters like this, you cannot build this board, so please get them. Huh. Okay. Let's pull the tape off and look and see how we've done so far. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. So orderly. Yeah. All right. Gonna try to clean up a little bit before moving on. There's a bunch of parts left, but I probably don't need all this stuff on my nice pad. Okay, I'm just going to take the things that matter, like these feet, and these, and this little header, this capacitor, woo, exciting, this crystal, this USB, this other LED. Okay, everything else here is trash. I will be right back once this is in the trash. Okay, look at that. pad could be washed, but you know, not bad. And board, as far as we are so far. Let's see, what are we gonna do next? Oh, the USB. So the USB is fun. It is the hard part. I feel like I might even I'm gonna mention it to the channel that I'm doing the USB soldering now, in case anyone wants to see. Alright, so I'd love to show this closer, just because it's a little hard. I don't know how to get the camera that much closer. I wonder if I can... Alright, sorry about that. Sorry about the movement. And I'm sure this is like the least good sound it's ever been sound. When it vibrates because of the fan. Alright, we're just going to do without a fan. We're just going to use this as a stand. Nope. Sorry for the camera movement. I just feel like this part's important. Okay, so the USB connector, it has really tiny little pins. It goes here, so you can like slot it in, and when you're holding it down, you can sort of smoosh it against the back. And you want to first start by just picking only one, yeah, they're really small. Only one of these external pins, they're the shield. And we're just going to solder one pin first. Oh my god. I'm so sorry about the camera movement. I just want to make it close up, as close as I can do, because this part is a beast compared to the rest of it. So I'm going to clean my tip. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to like heat it up, get some solder on. Hey, do what I want. This direction is better. I basically just want to like attach it. So now it's attached and I can look to make sure that it's straight. Looks like it's on straight, so good. Now that's safe. I take my no clean flux paste. Oh, lost the... And you just sort of like inject a little bit of flux. Come on. And this is like a goo. And then I just sort of like moosh it around in there. I want a bunch of flux on everybody. And flux is basically, I think, literal magic. What it'll do is make the solder go where we want it and not anywhere else. So then once you've got your flux on, you can just put a little bit of solder on your iron and then you drag it across. And you keep dragging it until all the pins are covered. And they're very small, but they're also looking good. Oh, I just bridged one. But because I've got flux on there, I can just sort of move it away. And it's not the cleanest, but it looks like we have no bridges. And I'm be right back. I'm just getting a little bit of isopropyl alcohol just because I want to actually inspect this. And yeah, looks good. Oh man, why won't you focus? Well, let me tell you, there are 2 rows of tiny pins that are now all soldered. So yeah, let me know if you want me to do that for you or if you're good to go on that. Cool. I'm gonna put the camera back where it was now. Woo! I'm, again, so sorry for moving the camera all over. I just thought that was important. I think a big part of how to do that, to like make it not be real challenging, is to just be like sort of calm about it, because it can be stressful because the pins are small, but just like, you know, breathe. Next up, we're gonna do these little push buttons. Look how small they are. They're little babies. They don't matter what like spot they go in. So there's a reset and a boot. You can just drop them into either in any orientation. Then again, all right, putting this back on. Here we go. Time to make these little boys be connected. I don't know why I just gendered the switches. Yeah, it's such a nice mat. I love that I don't have to worry about burning my desk. And I mean, my desk is not in the greatest of shape. I actually built this standing desk myself, and made, like, you know, I cut the top and I stained it after and sanded it. But when I moved to New York, I had a little bit of a disaster. I have a monitor arm here, and we were like hanging clothes from the monitor arm to a closet so that they could dry. We put too much weight on it and the whole desk came crashing down, and I broke a monitor in the disaster. Yeah, it was sad. And so the desk has gotten pretty scratched up from that. But, oh well. Alright, what are we going to do next? We're going to solder the pin header on. This thing. So this header you shouldn't have to use, but because I've pre-programmed all of the Atmega chips, but it's used for in-system programming. So if the Atmega loses its bootloader, you can use this little port to send it new software, like a new bootloader, and then reinstall QMK or whatnot. So we're just going to solder these pins. Hopefully you never have to use this, but it'd be worse to have to disassemble your keyboard just to get access to it. All right. Let's do the capacitor. So a capacitor is one of these. Oh my. It's black and gray, and it has a long leg and a short leg. The long leg, I don't know if you can see on here. You definitely can't see on here. There's a little square pad and a little circle pad. The long leg goes into the square pad, and the short leg goes into the circle pad. And then when you're done, now this you can see, there's a white mark facing the top and a black mark facing towards the bottom. So let's like push that boy in. Everything's a boy, sorry, I don't know why. And then do some soldering. In you go. In you go. Good job. Let's trim the capacitor legs. No more. Next up, we've got a crystal. This little metal thing is a crystal, and it goes underneath where the MCU goes, in here. It also doesn't care what direction it goes, like the resistors. At this point, getting a little hard to hold things down, so I'm going to take my tape again. Where's the end of my tape? Hold it down and do a little bit of soldering. 1, 2, trim its legs. And so this thing is a crystal which you need on an Atmega chip, which is what this uses. It's what sets the clock speed of the little computer that runs your keyboard. Cool. Oh, I use tape for everything. If you weren't here earlier, SA Fib, when I put all the diodes down, I actually put a big strip of tape here, put tape across all of the resistors, and then if you have this mat, it's so easy once you have tape down. You just press it hard against the mat, and the tape just helps for your flipping it back and forth and holding everything in place. Highly recommend it. Okay, we got two more little capacitors, these baby ones. And the baby ones go into the holes on either side of the crystal. And they don't care what direction they're in. We're going to use the same tape. Just to hold it in place for a moment. And soldering. Hi, Emmerich one. Hope you're doing well. Oh, and SA Fib, I specifically get very thin tape for holding this stuff down. And this, oh my god, Pro Artist tape, which I found on Amazon, leaves like no residue and is really nice for everything, not just electronics work. Cool. Got those in place. Not a lot of components left. That's exciting. Let's do the other two capacitors. So these are the ones that I just put in were 22 picofarad, and these are 0.1 U. So what's that, microfarads? It's important to have a really solid collection of tapes. Over at my studio where my laser cutter is, I have like a bin of so many tapes. Okay, so when you're doing this, I apologize. This cardboard is really annoying to get off, and it probably won't slide, and I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to cut it off with my snips. Because that is just a lot easier than trying to pull it out. Oh, hello, Lorenzo. He's a cutie. What a small cat. This goes, oh man, up at the top here. And another one goes under the Atmega. Taking the same tape. I just want to like hold it vaguely in place. Right. Okay, let's solder these capacitors on. Oh, my hair is probably all in the way. I'm sorry. I don't normally stream. You can probably tell by the fact that, like, I'm using a janky webcam. Okay, let's take tape off and see how those look. Those look good. I just wanted to check because they, if they came out of their little tape prison, they could have fallen a bit, and I wouldn't want that. Next up is this. This is the Atmega, like, IC socket. So it's got, I don't know if you can see it, on one end there's a little hole, like a little notch taken out, and the notch isn't there on the other side. That notch is illustrated on the PCB. So you want to match up the little notch with the little notch, hold it in place, of course using a little bit of tape just to hold it down, and then you solder 40 pins. While you're doing this, you can admire the beautiful traces that Brian of CKF, or no, CF, I don't know, Cozy Fanny 2D keyboard did a wonderful job on this PCB. It's very beautifully designed. So close, just a couple more joints. Right. And then let's see. Let's do the fuse. I think that's the last thing other than the power LED. And the power LED, I'm gonna test them out before I pick one. So the fuse is this tan buddy, and it doesn't matter what direction it goes in. And you put it in. And this is a little hard to hold with tape, I think, but and I also don't necessarily, let's try. Let's see if we can get it with tape. I don't think so. So what I think we're gonna do is I'm just gonna, and this is maybe not exactly recommended. Oh, any tape? I think any tape that doesn't leave a residue on PCB. This is like artist's masking tape. But you know, whatever you can find that is not particularly residue leaving, so like some kind of masking tape. I am gonna use tape here. Alright. So that's held down ish. Hi! I will save this as a VOD so that you can look at it after. Hi! I actually needed to ask you what layout you wanted so that I can solder the right layout on. I know that you're probably not gonna use it because it's not an ErgoDox, but I'm curious which layout. Alright. Oh, you know what I forgot to do after soldering the pins on the USB? I forgot to solder the rest of the shield of the USB. Okay. Okay, real quick, once you've done the fuse, it's going to be way too sticky outy, so you just fold it down, and it looks cute like that. Has like a whole space to go. So we finished that. The only things left are the LED, the switches, obviously, which is going to be its own project. And then you want to take the last little bits of the USB and like fill those shield points with solder. I wish that I had done that when I was doing the USB earlier. Oh well. Okay. So what I just did is around the sort of tricky USB pins, there's like 2 rows of, I don't know, 16 or 12 or some whole pile of tiny, tiny, tiny pins. But you gotta fill the 4 holes around it with solder so that you don't pull the thingy off, pull the USB connector off. Okay, cutting the rest of these little pokey boys. Goodbye. Come on, you can do it. Goodbye. 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 All right, we have, except for an LED, a completed PCB. So then you take your Atmega chip, and the same way there was a little notch on the board and a little notch in the connector, there's a little notch just on the chip itself, and you want to make sure that that's in the same orientation. And then you just do it a little squeezy to get the pins in place. And once all the pins are in, you can just smoosh it right in. And now you've got that. Wait, I'm gonna open up that link that you just sent so that I can see. That link isn't working for me, weirdly enough. Ah, that one. Okay, so that would use the 1.5U, the 1.5U, this 7U, a 1.5, and another 1.5. Yeah, it's definitely that one. Like, I see the image that I posted. But yeah, all four of those green layouts are possible in this new, fixed, different from the regular Discipline PCB. We're gonna test this board now. Hello, USB cable. We got no sound. So that's fun. I wonder what I did wrong. Are we getting any power? Doesn't seem it. Second. So I'm not getting any response. So clearly I did something wrong, and we'll find out what. So I've got solder braid here, and I'm just going to inspect anywhere that I think might have gotten bridged. The USB connector is maybe a good place to start. Thought I did a good job, but you know, who could say? And so I'm just using some braid to remove a little bit of solder. Hearing the discord sounds, which is maybe not what I want. So what I'm doing now is I'm really just taking off a little bit of solder because it's not working, and I think it's probably a little bridge in the USB connector. I'd really like to hear that ba-ba-da-da, but I guess not. The connector also is feeling a little crunchy, which is weird. The bootloader is flashed, so should just work as soon as I plug it in. But no. And you'll find, like with this other one that I have built, which is the older one, even with no Atmega connected at all, I still get that bump and sound. What's going on is there's, I think, somewhere a short power-wise. But the other thing I can do is pull the at Mega and see if it acts the same. Thanks for watching me struggle. Nope. So hard to get these out. Yeah. I'm glad that watching me problem solve is good for you. It's very nerve-wracking for me. I wonder what's up. Bye. Really making this as clean as I possibly can. Ah, now it works. Okay, so I must have had somewhere in there, in those tiny pins, some short between those two rows. So now, on my computer, I'm going to go over to Via, and in Via, I see a discipline. I'm going to pop open to the key tester. I'm going to take one of my diode legs that I'd cut earlier. I'm going to bend it into... Oh, I have a better thing for this, actually. Let me find it. Tweezers! Alright, so we're going to just like pretend that we're typing by tweezering between these. And so that makes a key, that makes a key. Oh hey, now it's making sound. And then we wanted to use 7U, that looks good. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, yep, everybody works. So mintlodica, are you thinking that 1.5, 1.5, 7U layout for the bottom? Cool. I have one more question for you. And that's which LED we should use. I wonder if I can get them to light up. So, oh yeah, so we've got, I don't know if you can see it. This is pink. Man, it's so bright. There's pink. There's blue. And there's red. Your choice in color. Pink. Okay, pink it will be. Alright, I'm gonna unplug it, solder the pink LED in. And yeah, that's like another only our Discord bonus. that But I was like, we need to have more LEDs than just red. Red is not cute enough. Where's the soldering iron? Here's the soldering iron. It's very important. Bespoke all the things. I'm excited that I'm like basically doing I'm practically doing bespoke PCB design. Like the Pixie is like a request from a couple folks in the Discord, and I'm maybe gonna help out with a strange Alice-esque layout later. Alright. So I tested all the things. And next up, we're going to get ourselves the screws that go into here, which are 4mm screws. So let me find our screws. Okay, so this is the one thing that I have not yet done at all, which is sorting. I have these little bags that I've labeled with foot, and there's another bag that says PCB. I need to take some of these screws, some of these standoffs. Oh, I can turn this fan off because I'm not soldering for a bit. And a bunch of these screws and sort them into all of these bags and all of the other ones. Okay, so I need to find myself 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And those are the 4mm screws. And then I need 12 M2 standoffs. 6mm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh god. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got our standoffs. We need 4 more weird screws. Okay, these are actually 6 of these. So let's install some screws and standoffs. So these ones that are like, I don't know if you can see, they've got like a pokey end and they're like a long standoff. Those all go on the top here, and there should be 6 of them. And they screw into, yeah, the troublesome standoffs did finally appear at my house after like 2 months. And you just sort of screw them in across the whole board with the tall ones on the top. I mean, the other troublesome thing was I ordered USB connectors from AliExpress, which never arrived, ever, so I just bought other ones from Mouser, I think, when they restocked, or maybe Newark, I don't remember, but I managed to buy them. Haven't gotten a refund on the AliExpress ones. Might not end up being able to do that, but they weren't that expensive, so whatever. Okay. Screwing together these. All the way. All the way. Okay, and so then you can see on the back there's some uppies, and where's my screwdriver set? Oh, that was a nice pop. So then there's these 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that go into standoffs. This way. I'm just holding the standoff and screwing it in. Do that again. Down here. So we're going to load a screw into this side. We're going to load a screw into this side and a standoff into this side. I said, and a standoff into this side. And you just repeat that for all of the holes. Easy. Only slightly annoying. Here we are, halfway through hour 3, I guess, of building this. If anyone has any questions about literally anything, let me know. Hey, go in. Yeah. Last one of these. Cool. So now, oh, the thing I needed to fix to get it to work with USB is that on these tiny pins, I ended up bridging some, and I'm not sure how. I couldn't see the bridge, but if you don't get any response at all, like even without a microcontroller, Windows should still make that like sound. Or in Mac OS, I assume there's something else that, like if you went into System Profiler, I think it's called, you should be able to like see that a USB device is connected. So I went in with soldering or desoldering braid, and I just tried to pick up some of the solder first. And that's you just hold it against the PCB and you apply some heat. And then after I'd picked up some, I took my no clean flux paste, put it on again, and just ran the soldering iron across until it looked nice and clean, plugged it in again, and it made the sound. Does that help? Now for stabilizers. Yeah, I think so. I knew that was likely the issue, because on these PCBs that I designed myself, one of them was doing the same thing, and I thought that it was the first, this is the first PCB that I'd ever designed, and I was like, oh no, I did something wrong, like in the way that I had designed it, and it turned out that it was, I worked with some people, and they were like, maybe just like flux your USB connector a little bit and give it another shot, and that did the trick, and this works perfectly. The color of this PCB, it's like a bright green. I don't know, it's like PCB green, which to me is not my favorite, but PCB green is the cheapest you can get. And I was, when you order it fully assembled, like not fully, but like I put all these sockets in, but I didn't solder that. I had a robot in China solder that. And they'll only do it on green unless you are buying a whole pile of boards. All right. So let's see. Next is the stabilizers. Yeah, I have like a color filter on Twitch to like brighten it a little bit. And these are the C3 stabilizers from the Key Company. of which apparently extras will be available in not too distant future in many, many colors. And we're going with cream, which goes nice against the gold, or against the white, and a gold bar. And I know I'm supposed to lube these. I have never done that before. So it's going to be a journey for all of us today. All of these little friends come out, and now I need to find the tiny washers, screws, presumably Alright, I'm just going to take a moment and see if there's like some photos of where exactly I should be lubing these, because I don't know what I'm doing. I have the lube that is like recommended by everyone. Somewhere I have brushes. Here's some brushes. This area is getting real messy. Oh, I want you to be on the other direction. So apparently you just go ham for the inside of a stabilizer. Too much. Anywhere that anything is touching anything that slides. Hi, honey. Well, I've done most of the board, and now I'm going to inexpertly lube some stabilizers, install them, and then install switches, and we should be done. How many sets of these stabs I need? 1, 2, 3. Need 4. Okay. Yeah, this is actually the first time that I've lubed stabilizers, and it's a lot of goo. And all the guides that I've seen say there's no such thing as too much for the body of the stab, unlike a switch. We've got 2 down, 6 to go. Did you do it while your while it was installed in your PCB? Or was it just so much that it, in use, just got all over everything? I don't even think I have good sounds for this. Whereas, like, earlier people were like, oh, it's like ASMR. Oh. Well, I'm about to experience that as well. So you are the expert, and I will rely on you for advice. This isn't so bad. This is going fine. I love the wonders of goo. It goes well with all the other stuff that's on my hands from soldering this today. All of the lead and tin mix. I think it's applying pretty nice on here, but that's 5. I am looking forward to being done with this part so that I can go back to soldering. I quite like soldering. 6. I'm excited about the Pixie PCBs that I ordered yesterday are apparently somehow going to make it like from China to here early next week, as well as the there's a 65% board that I'm building for my girlfriend that will be arriving on Monday, and that one's like fully assembled, and I have all the acrylic pieces for her case ready. So I should be able to build her whole keyboard after work. But it'll also be my first day of my new job, so we'll see how tired I am. The later in the week I will get the crazy geometric ones. The Monday one is for I don't have all the keys. This is the plate that I made for it. It's a palm plate, and there's a bunch of layers of acrylic, but the job that I'm started. The job is I'm going to be working at Apple. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I need one more of these. I'm going to be an EPM at Apple starting Monday. Yeah, I'm excited. Cool. All right. We don't need these. And then the inserts. All 4 sides. Oh, you know what I want? I want that little thing to hold it. My friend printed for me. Hey, thanks. I have this little cute grabby thing. But, whoa. I'm using, what is it, Twitch Studio, which is like the, I guess, super basic, like, Twitch streaming version of OBS. But you can customize it pretty nicely, and it didn't take very long. Yeah, so this special tool is 3D printed as one piece using flexures, so that it can flex without, you know, any mechanical pins or anything, which I think is dope. The hole. Oh, this is the hole where the wire goes, and you want to lube inside this hole. Cool. Bold of me to put this in beforehand. Oops. So I assume there's only one direction that this should be able to go. Yeah. And yeah, that grippy tool is 3D printed. Having trouble getting a pin into this hole. I wonder why. The wire should go through. Oh, there we go. Hey! Cool. Wow, my hands are just covered in it. It's barely worth using the tool. I'm just gonna go for it, because I am now just the queen of goo. I'm becoming one with this goo. No time to be precious. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, one down, more to go. The centerpiece is backwards. What does that mean? Oh, the little stem was backwards? So on the C3 stabilizers, the side with 2 holes should face the open end. So like, oh, this is going to be hard to see. There's 2 holes in there, and then there's the hole that the wire comes through. You want the 2 holes to be facing that side. And then you just have goo literally all over everything in your entire life, apparently. And you snap them in, and bang, bang, there you go. Get in. There we go. Needs a little bit of force. Yeah, well, my whole life is goo right now. Not for too long. We got 2 stabs done. 2 more to go. But yeah, if you look at the design of the stem of the stab, one of the sides has like a little cut for, like a little slant for the pin to go up and down. So that's how you can tell which side. Yeah, hopefully these sound nice. I've heard good things about C3 stabilizers, and they're definitely beautiful colors. I also ordered some Duroc stabilizers because I wouldn't have known this like at the beginning of the year, but apparently I am very involved with keyboards and should just have a bunch of stabs and things on hand at all times. Yeah, they are cream stabilizers with gold pins, and the gold perfectly matches the Enig gold finish that I had done on the board itself. So if you're trying to match your stabilizers to a Discipline and you got one of these, might I recommend the gold just looks nice. And it's a very like tone on tone gold, or not even tone on tone, just like perfect match of gold colors. Wow. My watch has suddenly decided to notify me about all of the Discord messages that I've gotten in the last 3 hours. So my watch is now vibrating like bonkers. Ah! Things get a little harder to grip when you're covered in goo, when you are a verified goo monster like I am at this moment. All right, last one. That feels like too much, but you know, theoretically you can't do too much. Gooberkant! All right, and let's snap that last wire in, which is like very, very challenging with my extremely gooey hands. Okay. Nope.
Hello.
Hi, I'm streaming.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Aw.
Can you help me?
My hands are covered in glue. I'll be right in a second. Just, I'm like literally covered in silicone grease.
Like, keep my blankets.
I will be right back. I am back. Okay. All right. We've got all these in. Let's, no. Let's screw them down. Nope. Should have used tape. Thank you. Yeah, I think it looks really nice with the cream. These washers are so small. So small. And I'm just screwing in each of the stabilizers. Yeah, I feel like the cream and the white of the PCB is like a surprisingly good look. feel like all of the pro streamers for this, and I don't know if pro is the right word, all of the experienced streamers of this kind of thing are probably so much faster at this process. Okay. I just feel like since I'm on, you know, my third hour of this, and you know, I did all the diodes, I did the rest of the main components, now I'm on stabs, then there's gonna be switches, and it's like, wow, that's a long time. It's a lot of pieces. I hear Lorenzo, the cat, excited about food. He built a discipline, or? Yeah. We're so close with. Okay. Well, if it took him 5 hours, I won't be that concerned with my situation. All right. Okay, now I've got, my desk has gotten back to being a little bit of a disaster. Got the stabilizers. I'm gonna take all of these extra PCBs and tools and random switches. I'm gonna put them away. Next up, you take your switch plate. That's not the direction. Was it? Yes, it totally was. This direction. Got your switch plate. Cool. Get yourself some switches. We're using jades. Go. Cool. I'm gonna go find myself a 7U space bar. They were box jades, because this is for mintlodica, and those are like the switch that she uses. Stabilizer seems to work just fine. Doesn't sound terrible. I mean, hard to hear any like rattle or nothing beyond the like profound thwack of the jade, but why is it taboo? Oh, these feel nice. Alright, I'm just putting some random magical caps on just so that I can like feel comfortable with the stabilizers. These are good keys, like, or good switches. Okay, let's just try. Sweet. Half Tangy. So much goo. Living in goo. I need to do something about the brush that I just liberally coated in goo. Okay, let's populate this plate. Oh. Let's populate this plate not connected to a So this is an FR4 plate, like the same as other PCB materials, and it's like really flexible, so it's kind of hard to like push the switches in when it's on here. So I'm just doing it in the air. I really want tangerines also. I did not get in on the group buy because I was broke. But I'm hopeful during extras, or maybe there'll be another group buy after that. Yeah, I'm excited for all of the other fruits too. What would peach switches be? Just a color, or do you want a particular feel? How did tangerines get named that way? Like, I know the other ones are named sort of like following the way that the tangerines are named. But like, how did they decide? I feel like such a plebe. The switches that I've liked best so far are like speed golds, which are not fancy. Switch lore. So annoying to put in on the plate. I like clicky. Speed golds are clicky. They're on this. So nice. Jades are a little much clicky for me, but I can respect that. Optical. The PCB has to be designed for optical switches, right? Like it needs some stuff in place so that the opticalness works. For real. I remember trying the navies that you let me have, and wow, what an exhausting switch. I feel like you'd really build up like finger muscles with box navies, but it would be a tiring couple of weeks. I don't know how long it would take to get used to them. Also, I feel like you'd be like such a monster on a video call, like if you were working. Hi. Oh yeah, I am so excited about strawberry lemonade. Hey. have to figure out what I'm gonna use for my version of my own discipline. I have like box silent pinks, which are cute. They have like a little round pink stem. Yeah, Nature Witch is gonna be great. Oh my god, you're here? Hold on, hold on, hold on. I have a thing to show you. I can't show this well. The lighting is not agreeing with me. But I laser cut the moths. There was like a little weirdness. So I don't know what the laser was doing here. There's like a gap and it like lost power for some of it. So I was gonna redo it and then send it over your way, but you know, looks nice. Took kind of a shockingly long amount of time to engrave, but yeah, I apologize for taking so long with that, but I did not forget about you. Between all of the boards that I'm apparently designing and the job that I'm starting next week, it's just quite a time in Nicole's life. You're welcome. I am excited to be able to contribute. Thanks. Am I nervous about the new job? A little. But I'm mostly just excited about it. The folks that I'm going to be working with are great seeming. And I have some friends that work there now. Not same team, but not too far away. Go in. So yeah, I'm just mostly excited. Thanks. Okay. We are so close to having all of these in the plate, and then it is soldering time. I think everyone expects that you're not going to remember everyone's name. I think if anything, because we're, you know, here in the like time of Corona, like I'm not actually going to be in the office for who knows how long. I think that everyone's going to be hopefully extra understanding of things being a little weird for someone to start in this time. Like I'm not even in the right state for working at Apple. So eventually I'll move back to San Francisco. Come on, Switch. All I want is for you to do your little clip. Be good. Be good. There we go. This is a tight fit. The FR4. Yeah, I mean, I'm used to working with very remote teams. Previously, at my last job, we had a person in Atlanta and a person in Denver and 2 folks in Lagos. And so I'm like pretty used to that kind of thing. Ah, look how nice this is. Look at this. Look at how lovely that is. Just adorable. Okay. Let's get everything out of the way. We don't need all these stabilizer pieces in here. We don't need this PCB bag. Okay. Whoa. All right. Yeah, big click. Everybody click. All at once. It's time to do the big click. Now it's soldering time. Yeah, it's more kathunk than anything else, I think. My soldering iron's cable is all tangly. There we go. We don't want tangly. I am also getting a little hungry. I haven't eaten much today. But there's not much more to this. I'm excited to see it through. I don't know. I don't know what's for dinner. So yesterday was my birthday, and my partner made me like this incredible Italian dinner with like homemade bread, garlic bread. Like we make sourdough, and she made the bread that we baked or that she baked yesterday. I made the dough the day before, and it like rose overnight. Oh, thanks everyone. And she made homemade pasta with like a lemon sauce and like a vegan Caesar salad, and it was just really nice. And I can't drink alcohol, but a friend of ours got us non-alcoholic sparkling rosé, like de-alcoholized wine, and it was delicious. And then afterwards, she made me vegan tiramisu, and tiramisu is like my favorite dessert. And I've never had it made by a person. Like it's never even occurred to me that tiramisu can be made not at a restaurant. And I cook everything. Oh, thanks everyone. So yeah, vegan tiramisu. Can you believe it? It was so nice. And then we watched Promare, which was incredible. The like gay firefighter anime. And I like did not realize that that it was gonna be quite so gay. I would have seen it earlier. But yeah, spectacular. What a good. Yeah, it's so beautiful and so much. Like it's so intense. Like the same way that like Redline is super intense. It's just like the camera is always moving at every moment. And Gallo has just the most adorable like himbo / golden retriever energy of like any character. We're on the third row of soldering switches. I apologize as it gets darker here in New York at the end of the day. I think that the quality of my already not fantastic webcam is maybe going downhill even further. I will try to take a few hopefully decent photos of this after and put them up on the Discord. Yeah, that's a great question. What keycaps go on this? It's gonna be minty on the window, so. 4th row. Wait, I missed. Oh. Drop the iron. Cool, cool. I missed the chat. What? Rainbow PBT. I want to see eventually someone with the mint cover do the mint PBT. I know that mine is going to be lavender PBT. There will be extras. I know I'm going to try to get rainbow as extras. So these bottom ones where it's like a little Swiss cheesy, you kind of want to be careful. I already packed up the entry edition because I'm going to send it to a person from the Discord. Sorry. I should make it so the chat doesn't disappear so fast on the window so that I can see it. Alright, so here's the thing about the NK65. Wow, it's really nice. Like, so nice. What a nice keyboard it is. I just don't know how to use 65% keyboards anymore. Like, which seems ridiculous, but like, this is my board. I use only this keyboard. I'm so used to it. Alright, so all the switches are in place now. I'm gonna go ahead and give it another test in VIA, using the VIA switch tester, just to make sure. Oh, I love the little pink LED. Oh, it's so cute. Okay. Reset, switch matrix. Oh, I can turn this off.
Do you know if the bodega closes at 8 or 9?
Later now.
Later now?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little piano because it's VIA. I don't know why the key sounds in VIA are like happening so slow. Alright, I'm gonna turn off the key sounds because that's very silly because they're like lagged. I think because VIA maybe isn't happy that I change keyboards constantly. And I've had it open for days and days, and I've gone through like prototype boards and all kinds of nonsense, and so it's like we got them all. We got them all working. We got a whole screen of red keys. We're good. Yeah. Sweet. And so that is done. We got ourselves a functional keyboard with switches on it and everything. Okay, next up is foam. Foam. So everyone who got in on my group buy is getting foam, but like, I don't know what my laser was doing. I don't know why it didn't cut all the way. And I don't love that. So I'm just peeling away the bits that didn't cut. And I think that if you were to go in with like a scissors, you could make it look really nice. But I'm feeling a little lazy. So I'm just tearing it. And I'm gonna commence hating it in 3, 2, I'll be right back. I need to get a scissors. Okay. All right, foam. So yeah, if you order it from me, it comes with foam, which was free. Well, not for me, free for y'all. But you'll have to go in with the scissors and like clean up the edges because the laser was rude. Cool. All right. You take all your foams, scraps, and you knock them off there. You place this on. There's going to be like little pokey pieces of foam in the middle also. Just push them all out. You don't need them. Then you set it in. And like, it's pretty magical how much of a difference it makes. Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. And then this exciting layer. Okay. How to show how cool this looks when this light is so terrible. So do you see in the shot? All right, if I angle it just right. I'm bringing a light over. That's it, I'm doing it. I want everyone to see. There's no way. Do you see that cute Keyboard Club logo? It's so subtle on this webcam. In person, it is not as subtle. It's so cool. All right, and then we need more screws. Oh, first, we need to put the standoffs on this side. So you will have a bag that looks just like this, except it'll also have 3 4mm screws in it. Which I have to sort out from all of these screws. I'm really trying, but it's a lot of sorting to do. Cool. You put your screw on the back side, so the side without the cool markings. You take your standoffs. Out we go, standoffs. And you want the standoffs facing out. We're gonna do that again. Oh, it's important to put them in the right hole spots, which is not there, it's there. So the middle of the 3. It won't work right if you put it in the wrong place, oddly enough. Oh my god, there's like a little, I'm sure you can't see it, but there's like a little wing right here, and it is the cutest thing in the entire universe. And I love it. I mean, I feel like Magic Girl is basically the CKC key set at this point. But I'd love this font on alphas. So, you know, mintlodica. Let's see it happen. Ah! Okay. Should I screw the whole foot on first? I don't know. Yeah, that would be great. Okay. I'm gonna follow Brian's guide. In your kit, you're gonna end up with all these pieces of plastic. You can take a little knife oh my god, come on. And you just want to peel up a corner. Oh, that looks already extremely good. This part, a little annoying. Don't cut yourself. I'll feel very bad. These little divot pieces are there for the screws that affix the bottom plate. So position it so that they're facing down. You know what's better than one layer of mint acrylic? 2 layers of mint acrylic. Yeah, and you should see, I mean, I'm glad that y'all are into the look of this acrylic on stream, but remember, I'm using a janky Logitech webcam. In person, this is so lovely. What a nice acrylic color. And the purple is also extremely good. Bam! Look at that. All right, now we need the longer screws. So there's going to be in that little foot bag 3 longer screws, and you might have to do this where you like see there's like a little piece stuck in. You just do it a poke. Then this one here. Do it a poke. Goodbye. Where is my screwdriver? Here we are. Oh yeah, Canal Plastics is great. They're local to me now. They're on Canal Street, and they have a wonderful selection of acrylic. And I'm really glad, like, they were shut down during the first few phases of the pandemic, and I'm glad that they've survived and have reopened. They're like a really long time New York establishment. Like if you're a maker in New York City, you've definitely been to Canal Plastics to get acrylic. And so I think it's really important that they like continue to exist. All right, we've got the foot on. And now we've got just a lot of little screws to put in. Yeah, I'll let me just get one more screw in and I'll show the side profile. Yeah. I just don't want it to like fall apart when I pick it up. Look at that. What a beaut. What a beaut, right? Just a couple more screws. There's hopefully gonna be an extra or two, but I'm gonna do it as a raffle. And honestly, given that I have found that I'm like incapable of typing on a 65% these days, I might give mine up to the. No, I want one. Never mind. I'm gonna keep one. I take it back. I take it all back. I mean, there will be other fun acrylic group buys from me in the future, I'm sure. They might not be this discipline, but honestly, I mean, I'm happy to send anyone these files. Where do you put the bump-ons? Near bottom corners. Okay, so we've got all the screws in place. Then you've got your little rubber bumpy boys. And one goes there. One goes there. And then the bottom corners. One there. Every time I push on it. And one goes there. Oh! Oh my gosh! She's truly a beaut. Oh, it's about to look even better. So I'm gonna try to come up with some way to protect these on their way to you, because I have to put the cover on now and see it. But I might just send you a set that still has the little protective coating, or I might cover it with tape or something so that it doesn't get hurt in shipping. You can also clean acrylic with my favorite thing to clean acrylic is this Novus 1, which you can get in smaller quantities from plastic stores near you or Amazon. Also, acrylic is really, 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 really staticky at first. Like, when you first take this cover off, it's just gonna want to like suck up all of the like dust and cat hair and everything in your life. So, you know, after owning it for a bit, it'll calm down, but till then, it kind of wants to have everything, which is a little annoying. Okay. Anyhow, all I mean by that is, like, be prepared to want to clean your acrylic once in a while. Alright, again, there's little holes that didn't quite make it out, so we're just gonna push them out with the screw. Boom! Yeah, it's just the way of life with acrylic. It wants to have all of the fuzz, all of the everything in your life. It needs it. And you must oblige. Oh my god. Cream stabilizers was the rightest choice in the history of choices. How good it looks. Cannot even believe it. It's so pretty. All right. She's done. Like, we got ourselves a tiny moon. You know where else we've got a tiny moon? Up in there. And then on the back, we've got the Magic Girl emblem. Yeah. It's so nice looking, and it feels solid. And my work area is a disaster. Turn off the soldering iron. Collect some of the trash. So yeah, I think that's all. I guess I'll clean up a little bit, take a couple photos, and send them off to the chat. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me while I built this board. And mintlodica, thank you so much for letting me build your board. I really appreciate it. I don't have the keycaps for it. Otherwise, I would put keycaps on. Yeah. All right. Bye. Oh, I'm so excited.